You forgot that season when Opele Boateng decided to play 10 players in defense. Baffoes still found a way to score against.
Debate Arena Sports Edition is recorded at the premises of Big League Sports and Games Lounge. Locate Big Leagues at Osu for a wonderful sports bar experience. Debate Arena Sports Edition is sponsored by Game Pack Games. Head on to their website www.gamepackgames.com and play for some big wins. Game Pack Games, more moolah, more power.
Charlie.
What reaction?
Sure, cool.
I see you keep on.
Yeah.
Why you look me like that?
Oh, but you left Kumasi Camps, but no,
Small money you go give me. Small money.
With your boss, you for sort me out.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Go see after this.
Sure,
Yeah,
but it's good to see you.
I know a couple of things we've been agreeing on, but today be like, Charlie.
Exactly.
For go, for battle, I know you have your preferences, but
I know.
Definitely I would have to.
Sure.
Have to be on guard too against any surprises.
Yeah.
I know you.
The same thing where I know you too, yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Sure.
Asante Kotokos' 2008 squad was the club's best in the last decade. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, this is one of the best squads I've ever seen when it comes to local football. Teams will decide to buy the best, recruit the best, but this squad had everything from goalkeeping to attack. They had that experience in Isaac Kamualkon, the brilliance of Sulama in goalkeeping, in defense. They could boast of Samuel Inkum, Harrison Afo, Godfred Yeboah. In midfield, there was Daniel Nieje, there was Max Setre. Later, Emmanuel Ajimambe, before the Africa Under 20 Nations Cup and then the World Cup. And even up front, the man, Eric Kwabena, the Queen. Emmanuel Oseikofo was supporting. There was Francis Kofi, there was Francis Akwafa. That team was just solid. And I wouldn't have anyone debate me to the best squad that the club has ever had. That squad was really it.
I agree with you, even though we've seen during Prosper's first spell at the club, some of the players that they brought in, people even tagged that as the best they've ever seen. But I think for me, I perfectly agree with you. The names that you've mentioned, it's not even, you talk of the defense. The same crop of players that they find themselves in the U20 team that won the African competition and went to the world stage to win the World Cup in Egypt. And so for me, I think that particular squad, and I think that you even look at Isaac Mwako in the goalkeeping department. Look at Suleimana. It was kind of like at a point in time they didn't even know who. Should we go for Amakon or should we go for Suleimana? But I think that because the competition was so much tough,
it was so
from the
tight.
goalkeeping department straight everywhere. On the pitch, Kotoko had that quality, and I think that even though the 2021, 2022, and the Prosper, that squad, very fine squad. But I think the 2008 one, for me, I think it stands out.
For me, the closest I can think of to come close when it comes to quality is that Max Oknedu winning team when he had the boys from Asek Mimosa joining, Yao Frimpong, Awal Mohammed and the likes joining, Babaraman. But I think when you come to quality in that 2008 squad had everything in that squad to win everything. You could see how dominant they were on the local scene. Harrison could play as a left back, play as a right back. He could switch into central midfield position. Nieje could equally do same. There was Francis Kofi, even Francis Akwafu, who was one of the excellent ball controllers or dribblers in the Ghana Premier League, was sitting on the bench for others to play. In defense, there was always that Muyi Muhammad with his presence to come from the bench to augment the effort. And if you had that experience of Emmanuel Oseikofo, let's not forget there was Jordan Opoku. Yes, the river that never stops flowing. And I think, Charlie, that squad, nobody would have any issues.
And I think one point that we also need to think about is, you look at these players that Kotoko had at that time. A player can move straight from Kotoko to Europe and then he slots into the other side. And so that is one thing that we also have to look at. The quality in there was just marvelous. And I think it was just amazing. It was just amazing for me.
He had a very good coach in Bachir who was always making the players play better. So, no questions about that squad. I think. Sure. Charlie, that's good. You can sip some small.
Eric Baffoes' Kotoko career is overrated. Do you agree or disagree?
So this is where I agree with the question, because there's no doubt about Eric Baffoes' goal scoring prowess. But I think that you look at the players that he found himself in among them, playing among. I think that, yeah, he won that goal scoring, top Golden Boot award in that season. But I think that you look at his playing career, you take out that particular season in Asante Kotoko, the season that he won the league, he won the Golden Boot award. Quote unquote, nothing can you even stick your neck out that, listen, I'm going all out to defend Eric Bekwai if you take out that particular season. I think that he's a very fine player. He won that Golden Boot. But after that season, what else? We've seen him move on to other clubs and other places to play football. But that's, if you take, for me, his season with Kotoko and that particular season that they won the league and won the Golden Boot, no doubt, I'm not going to question, I'm not going to raise any questions about his quality and everything. But I think that if you take that thing out from Bekwai's playing career, for me, nothing else more.
And well, you may say nothing else more, but I think he was one of the best. You know, they would always say that best players or quality players would need to withstand injury. But you cannot tell me because Abu Dhabi was injury prone, so he's not the best, or his season that he was the best was the quality or the best that he's ever had in his career. Fine, Bekwai had all these quality providers around him. Can talk of Emmanuel Osaikofo, Jordan Opoku, Francis Akwafo, Francis Kofi. All these players were around him. But when he was absent from the team, Kobnayaro was the man who was playing right behind him. He couldn't provide the exact numbers Bekwai provided. So if you look at that season, there have been other strikers who had to fill in. There were times that Bekwai wasn't around. Francis Kofi, Francis Akwafo were put in that same positions to excel for the Porcupines, but hardly did they thrive. And you look at that season and the crop of opponents that Bekwai realized or met in the Ghana Premier League, you cannot tell me that he wasn't, at top there. So I think that particular season was his greatest, and he really cemented himself when it comes to the history of Ghana football.
But he didn't play for Kotoko for just a season.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying the injuries probably ravaged that progression that we could have seen. But if you look critically at that season and what he provided, if the injuries had spared him, I think it would have been the most excellent forward we have seen. So
you are making your argument based on just a season that he excelled, but subsequently he was not that
and
top
that
notch
season was enough.
For me.
That season was enough to put him there. Let's not forget
I'm not contesting
that. But the lead striker for the local
but my argument is that after that season, what next? What can you stick your neck out for?
He had to move to Petrojet, and that was when his career started tumbling. But when you look at him at Asante Kotoko, I'm not sure many strikers would even compare to Bekwai. Bekwai was just top there. You can't mention one. Just even name one or two strikers who could match up to the level Bekwai provided. How many players, not even Shabani Nonda, could stand Daniel Koeman, but Eric Bekwai was able to do that in that particular season. You forgot that season when Upele Boateng decided to play 10 players in defense. Bekwai still found a way to score against Upele. For me, that season and what he provided that season would always cement his name in the history books of Kotoko and the Ghana Premier League.
For me, I agree with you with your argument, but for me, I'm saying that no doubt about his goal scoring prowess, but I'm saying that yes, injuries halted some of his progression and all these things, but I'm saying that if you are an out and out striker, I'm saying that just one season, you can't really make an argument for it based on just a season. I think that a striker is in there, he has to maintain that consistency. And then for me, I think that if you take out that particular season out from Eric Bekwai's playing career at Kotoko, you can't really make any proper argument for him. No doubt he won the league, won the Golden Boots. But moving forward, what next? And we didn't really see Bekwai up there, top class up there.
He was there playing for the Black Stars, playing for the Black Stars B.
But what was the output?
Playing for the Black Meteors.
What was the output?
He still provided the numbers.
But you can't compare that. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that season for Kotoko was perfect. But yeah, Black Stars, we know the quality that it's in there already. But I'm saying that once you get there, you need to fight it and get it. But I'm saying that take Kotoko out. So what next?
We'll go on and on and on, but I'm saying very ready for that.
Frank Mbella Ituga is Kotoko's best foreign player in the last decade. Do you agree or disagree?
No. He cannot.
Okay.
He cannot be. He cannot be. There was one Sonia Yakuba, an all-round player. He did everything. he gave Asante Kotoko the numbers, the sort of belief that, you know, those times when you are going to the stadium, you know, there is Nana Hindia, there is Charles Taylor I'm going to watch, there is Michael Osei Mba Power, there is Stephen Odru, whom the fans can bank their hopes on that, yes, this guy is going to give us something, you know, we love to see. And that was the mark Sonia Yakuba lifted Kotoko to when he joined the team under Park Osifeben to in that Africa campaign, and then later under CK Akono for the CAF Champions League and then the CAF Confederations Cup. He was top notch. He provided the goals, and it was because of his absence that prevented Kotoko from qualifying to the group stages or the next stage of the Africa campaign, because he missed that final game. It was difficult for Kotoko or CK to even plan his game around the rest of the other players. And, you know, he provided all when it comes to personality, when it comes to the aura around him, his skill, his positioning, you know, his overall all ball play. You know, this is a player you would love to see every time in the team. And I don't think that Etuga provided that. Yes, he scored the goals in the season for a full season for Asante Kotoko. If Yakuba had a long season like what Etuga had, you know, that was the time where Ghana football had the seasons being truncated by issues of court and all that. So Sonia Yakuba did not have that ample time to play throughout the entire season. And that is the disadvantage to him. But if you look at what he provided for Asante Kotoko, I don't think Etuga matches him. No.
For me, I think I'll always go for, Etuga, because listen, this is a player that when he was signed, I think 4 or 5 games has been played already into the season. He comes in under Prosper, even at the point he was struggling. And I don't recall the last time that a Kotoko striker was able to score 20 plus goals. I don't remember. You've made the argument for, Soyin Yakuba, truncation and all this thing. But you look at what Etuga provided for this Asante Kotokos, team. They were virtually struggling to score goals. This gentleman comes in from Cameroon, had not even had a taste of how Ghanaian football is. Comes in, started scoring goals for fun. Yes, even though there was argument being made that he's not scoring away. But at the Barbara turf, you know that Etuga is going to score. His goals virtually won the Premier League title for Asante Kotoko. And that's why, even when they went to Africa, at a point in time, the management made the argument that they want him to stay, wanted to move on because money is coming in. And at the time, you should remember, Kotoko also needed the money to finance their trip in Africa. And so for me, look at what Etuga did for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Listen, I don't think any foreign player has been able to do that. And that season, if not for Yohano's 22 goals, he would have emerged as the top goal scorer. And so for me, I'm thinking that I look at what he did for Asante Kotoko, playing under Prosper. And one thing is that he was not even always in the 18-yard box. He was scoring goals for fun. He was dropping deep, supporting the midfield in ball progression. He was doing all these things for Asante Kotoko. Yes, we saw what Soyin Yakuba did for Asante Kotoko. But I'm thinking that, listen, look at what Etuga did. Very young person coming into this side. Even at the point in time, there were questions were like, how is Prosper even going to match? You remember he came in with Infege.
Yeah.
And there was this question like, how is Prosper going to make these guys together? But listen, Etuga stood tall. He was everywhere. He was able to establish himself in this Asante Kotoko team. And so for me, I think that
in that Kotoko team, you could mention so many players that, you know, the fans could back their hopes on. There was Fabio Gaba who could.
But how many goals did this go? And that's why I'm saying that he was not always. He was not standing there. Okay, supply me with the balls and let me score. Exactly. And I'm saying that, listen, he was dropping to also support the midfield in terms of ball progression. He was doing all these things. Yes, he had fun.
You may defend that, but look at Sonia Yakuba and the team that he played in.
But how many goals did
overall contribution?
How many
overall
goals?
Contribution.
No, my question.
The season was truncated.
Yeah,
you know.
But how many goals did he even score?
He had scored 8 before the season was truncated.
But the following season he was there as well.
And he was just scoring at peak.
In his
that was when we had the season where we played the northern zone and the southern zone.
Okay, but how many
normalization?
Yeah,
if you can remember.
But even with the normalization and with the season that was truncated, you combine the normalization period under Dr. Kofi Amo and then the season that was truncated. How many goals did he even score?
He scored 12 goals.
And I'm saying that the player comes in
clearly. If you have such a player giving you these numbers, what tells you that he couldn't have recorded that in over 30 or 25 games?
So he's saying that.
And his overall contribution, and just like I said, you look at the aura that he carried around him, and very few players could offer that to Asante Kotoko.
So you're saying that? So you're saying that Etoga? Are you saying that Etoga, if you should have stayed there for a season? Oh, sorry, more than a season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, would have even been provided the numbers
Yakuba would have been greater.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Kotoko has the best fan base in Ghana. Do you agree or disagree?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. The Porcupines are the best, from those times when they had the circles till now, presently. The Porcupine Tertiary, every single place, they light up the atmosphere. Even in Kumasi, when the Black Stars go to play, they have lit up the atmosphere. I remember the Ghana-Nigeria game when they came in their numbers with that Kotoko jerseys and then regalia. They just made the stadium a lovely place to be. And in the last 5 years, in the last 10 years, I have never seen any fan base as dominant, as well organized, as very supportive as we've seen from this Asante Kotoko team. From defending players, from supporting management, from moving to venue, every venue in the Ghana Premier League. When you ask them when Kotoko is coming to town, it's just going to be a lovely atmosphere. And it's always been a festival with them, from the chants to gates to, attendance, every single time they are present. And I don't think any other side matches them when it comes to support. Kotoko fans are just great, from the various disappointments, the heartbreaks that they've been having, Charlie. They've always
I think so. I think they are the best in the country for me. I recall when during Max Okondi's time, he came to Accra and then I think they won that game by 1 goal to 0. It was against Accra to folk actually. I think 1 goal or 2 goals to 1 or something. I think Justice Blaze scored the winner or something like that. 2 goals to 1. And I think that day it was just crazy for me. I think that I was at the stadium myself and you look at they came in their numbers and how even they chanted, how they supported the team even when they went down. They go and I think even when it comes to Black Stars, why is it that we know the issue with regards to stadium and all these things, but you are guaranteed that when the Black Stars get to Kumasi, regardless of how things are not going well for the Black Stars, you know that these guys are going to come in their numbers and support the Black Stars. But the same as Asante Kotoko in their African competition, when even when they are not happy, when the heartbreak sets in, they still tripping their numbers and then go and support Asante Kotoko. And I think that they've been the best. But I think that in every organization there will be one or two rift, misunderstanding, all this thing. But this thing crops up. But the Porcupine Tertiary, they don't give up in supporting the club. I think that they've been wonderful. They've been fabulous.
One lovely thing about them is before the game, they give you that atmosphere of festivities to enjoy, even when the game hasn't started. During the game, they make sure that throughout the entire duration of the game, they will be on their feet. If there was something like a red wall, like it should have been at the Barbara Sports Stadium.
Talking of the fans being on their feet, just the game against Media. I was watching the game on Saturday. You even at the background, you could hear them right from the blast of the whistle. They chanted until the last minute, and I think that you hardly find these people. Supporting club. I think that for Kotoko fans, I think they are special, regardless of how the band bridge.
Extremely special. To the point that even after games, you expect that some vendors would want to sell their stuff, but they will just join the Jamaican and leave their stuff behind. This is what football is all about. When it's on the pitch, they deliver. Outside the pitch, they deliver as well. I think they've been a great. And even look at the support they give to their team when they are being attacked across the various social media platforms. That is what we call real fans and real supporters. Not just on the main action.
But sometimes the defenders might see the point.
Exactly. Maybe they must behave sometimes too as well.
That's the point. That's the point.
But Charlie, you just disagreed on Yakuba. Charlie, Yakuba, he really did well.
Oh no, he's a very fine striker, but listen, I think that Frank Mbele Etoga, I think he was just fabulous. You ask yourself, just ask yourself this question. If that season and the prosper, if Etoga and Mbele were not there, who is that particular player who's going to be the goal? Fabio Gama was fabulous. Fabio Gama was exceptional. He wouldn't give you. Fabio Gama, there was no way he's going to give you that 15 goals or 20 plus goals. No, I'm thinking that season, and just like what I said.
Maybe I would have to go and review my thoughts on that issue. But
all right.
Sure. We'll go later.
Sure. Thanks very much.